Today is the day we're gonna find out if a eyeshadow palette shaped like a boot can be good quality. This video is about the new Makeup Revolution collab with Toy Story. I bought a few of the items that seem most exciting to me. I got the eyeshadow palette, I got the lip gloss duo, and I also have the shimmer topper highlighter. And honestly, this video is a little bit of a scientific experiment. I have been really enjoying Makeup Revolution, but I don't know how I feel about their collabs just yet. I feel like they are kind of like a different branch within the brand, so I'm curious to see if this quality is actually good. So let's get into it. Let's start out with the eyeshadow palette. I actually think that the outer box that this comes in is pretty cute, and I know this is kind of like, you have to like it. It's a little bit of a childish look, but in a way I kind of enjoyed it. It's kind of cute in a way. I have mixed feelings, but the actual palette in the shape of a boot I thought was gonna be bigger or more cumbersome to hold or to store, but it's pretty flat. It's pretty sleek for a boot. How sleek can an eyeshadow palette in the shape of a boot be? But I feel like this would be relatively easy to store for the shape that it is, so I'm not too mad about it. For me it isn't necessary, but I do get that a boot shaped eyeshadow palette, it does attract some attention. I think some people will actually buy it for that reason. We have no mirror in this palette. It just says howdy partner, and then the actual color story, I feel like it's a pretty nice fall color story, and it does make quite a lot of sense. We have some neutral shades, we have some reds, we have some yellows. It's kind of like cool tones mixed with warm tones. The swatches of this actually didn't look too shabby, especially the red swatch really pigmentedly, swatched really nicely. I actually thought that these looked quite nice. We also have the two glosses. So the two glosses come in a set. We have one that is purple, which smells like grape. This is a shade Buzz, and this actually smells really nice, and it also looked really nice, and I just thought, wow, I just threw it in there to try a few things from this collection, but this smells really, really good. A really, really tasty grape. And then we have the yellow shimmer one, which is a booty. And this one, it doesn't have that strong of a scent, but it has some scent to it. I cannot really put my finger on it what this is. A little bit like a softer gourmand-ish something, but this is quite a nice, shimmery golden gloss. This duo I thought looked better. Just looking at it in real life, smelling it, and looking at it in swatches than I was expecting. Then I also have the highlighter. This packaging I actually thought was pretty cute. It's not gonna be super easy to store, but there are a lot of highlighters in the world that have this type of packaging that is a little bit more domed. So I cannot really fault them for that. They just put this sticker on to make it look like Buzz Lightyear, to have the Buzz Lightyear packaging and style. So this has Buzz Lightyear's face in it. It is embossed in it. You don't see it really well in every angle, but if you kind of turn it, Buzz Lightyear is right there looking at you. And when you swatch this, it's kind of like this sheer, sparkly veil of shimmer, which is kind of purplish, but it also has some blue specks in there as well. It's looking pretty interesting. I'm gonna use this as a highlighter, and I think I'm gonna use it maybe as an eyeshadow topper as well. We're gonna see how this look is gonna go. Let's zoom in and do some makeup. And we're just gonna do the eyes first because I don't really know how it's gonna go. I was first thinking I wanted to do kind of a cool tone neutral look, but I've been doing those a bunch lately, also because it's kind of my safe go-to. And I kind of matched my outfit with that, but when I swatched that red, I thought, I think we need to try it because that looks really interesting. I just want to see how that blends. So it's not gonna match my sweater, but it's fine. Alright, so I think I kind of want to go into this red one first and then blend it out with this kind of pinky matte. So I'm gonna start out the crease with that, and I'm just really curious. This is a pretty powdery shade. I just really want to know if the colorful matte that's really pigmented, if this colorful matte is as good as it seemed in the swatch. Do you see that pigment? Do you see what's going on here? That is really pigmented. Like, I usually don't wear a lot of red eyeshadow and not like primary red eyeshadow, but I just think this is a very good looking red. I'm just kind of like tapping it in place, and then later with that other matte I'm gonna blend it out. I don't want this red to blend too far too sheerly. Is it just me, or is it looking really good? Like really, really good. Like a really good red matte. Okay, I'm gonna grab that kind of like pinky brownish lighter shade on a different brush. And that one seems a little bit less powdery, and I'm just gonna start out here in the inner part of the crease, slowly building that up, and I'm then gonna blend out the edge over here and really just meshing that together. This neutral is a little bit more buildable, but I do feel like it's looking nice. It's looking good. I do feel like where I blend out the edge, it became a little pinker because this neutral has a bit of a pink undertone. So that was bound to happen. And now I want to go back in with that brush with the red to intensify a little bit. Just with the residue, I'm not picking up more color on this brush. And I can do this because that red is so pigmented. Gonna blend the edges with a clean brush. For the lower lash line, I'm gonna go with the shade Snake in My Boot, this brown shade, but I'll probably mix in some of that red as well. This brown seems to have almost a little bit of a like mustardy tone to it. That is quite nice and pigmented. And then I'm gonna take a tiny bit of that red and just connecting it on the outer part. Going back for a little bit more blending under here. I do like that these mattes are sticking really well to my skin and don't seem to blend away, even though they are a little powdery in the pan. I think in the end I'm gonna clean up a little bit underneath just to really like snatch it because it's a red shade with some concealer, but that's something we can think of at the end. Now for a shimmer, I think I'm gonna go into the shade called Cowboy, and most shimmers in this palette seemed more of a like standard metallic, but there's also one shade in this palette that seemed a little bit more textured, so we're gonna try that one out as well. Like this is kind of like in between a standard metallic and a satin. Pretty nice brown shade. Blend it up a little bit. If you take a lot, the shade becomes a little bit crumbly, so don't take too much, and you can kind of like smooth it out on your skin with your finger. And then it looks good. Going back in with the red because I don't want that brown to cover that up too much. I feel like it looks better if they are more distinguished. So I'm gonna go back with the brush. I'm not even taking any extra pigment or shadow. Or maybe I will take a little extra just right here. I feel like there's a little bit less red over here. Okay, I think it's coming together. I'm just taking my time with this look because it's a little bit outside of my comfort zone. It's a little bit different than what I usually do. So the more textured shade that I was talking about is this shade called Howdy. And I think I'm gonna apply that towards the inner part. And it is a bit more golden and shimmery. That is quite a nice shimmer. That is pretty cute. And for the lower lash line, I think I'm gonna grab a little bit of Sheriff over here on a pencil brush. This is quite a yellowy gold. I'm gonna put that towards the inner part. That is quite nice. Like we're kind of matching the bottom to the top. And then for a shadow liner, I'm gonna grab this shade called Deputy, which is kind of like this charcoal gray shade, which does have a bit of shimmer in it, but it was not as like shimmery all throughout as some of the other shimmers. It seems almost like a sequin shade, but not exactly. It's kind of like a very specific type of satin. I do have to say I don't really have a lot of fallout, so that's nice. Just smoking that on the lower lash line a bit as well. It's a subtle difference because this is not as dark as a black, and because it does have some shimmer, but I do like it. And now I actually want to see if the shade Let's Ride, so this kind of like bone colored matte off-white shade, if that is bright enough to use it in a corner. So I think I'm gonna do that. At first I was thinking about putting the highlighter in a corner, but I just really want to try it. That is really pigmented. Do you see the difference that is making? Alright, so this is basically gonna be the finished look. I'm gonna put a little bit of that highlighter on top. I'm just gonna first try and grab that on a brush. It's looking really good and shimmery on the brush. And I'm just gonna apply that at the front there. Is that doing enough for me? I feel like that's really subtle. I'm gonna try it with a finger. I don't feel like it's coming off the brush, like it's still on the brush. I'm grabbing it with my finger. It does make a difference, but it's a subtle sparkle. It adds a little bit of that bluish, purplish glow. Well, it's quite pretty, but it's not chunky in any way. It's pretty subtle. It definitely made it look a little bit more cool toned. I'm gonna try and apply a little bit over here. I do like where this is taking the look. Alright, mascara, brows, bronzer, blush, it's all on. And I'm ready to try the other products. I am gonna try the glitter topper highlighter on my face. And I really want to see if this is gonna like do something, if it's actually gonna come off the brush. I'm gonna take a highlighter brush and oh, that works really well. That is a really shimmery but gorgeous highlighter. That's actually beautiful. If you like a colored highlighter, that is stunning. It's really like this veil of shimmer. It's not chunky, but it is a shimmery highlight. I just feel like that's sticking to my cheeks really well. That is beautiful. Just blending that out with my finger a little. That is really nice. That is a special highlight. Who would have thought that I would actually enjoy this collection? That is a stunning highlighter. Would I wear this to work? No, probably not, but it's really beautiful. Just kind of like tapping that on. Do you see that glow? It really looks like I'm some sort of like glossy glowing alien and I'm quite liking it. That's really beautiful. Like if you would have told me that this was from an indie brand, that this was from Kaleidos, I would have believed you. That is a really beautiful glow, like a wet look sheen. But yeah, it is a purple highlighter with a blue sparkle. Alright, we're on to the glosses. I'm actually pretty excited to try these glosses because I think these are actually gonna be pretty good. At first, I'm just gonna apply the yellow one. Yeah, that's very yellow. That is a very shimmery yellow. Ooh, that's a little much just on my bare lips. But I could see lip looks with that working. Now it's looking a little extreme, but I feel like with the right tone of lipstick underneath, this might actually be really nice. I don't really feel the shimmer. No, it doesn't feel gritty for such a shimmery gloss. It feels nice. It feels like a good formula, like a hydrating formula, but not too thick. Like this is quite a nice gloss, but just out there, shimmery. But if you like that, like this is a really nice gloss. Alright, took off the yellow gloss and now we're going for the purple. By the way, in the bottle, this is looking so nice, like a purple to kind of like golden pink. And I actually think this is gonna be my favorite because I love sheer purple lips. It smells absolutely divine. And this is less sparkly. Like this is a everyday wearable lip product, but it does have... Is this pH reacting to my lips? Is this a stain? I feel like it's starting to look darker. It doesn't say anywhere that it's a stain. It's starting to look brighter, but I do like how this looks. Like, this is much brighter than this, right? And then it's starting to turn. Am I going crazy or is this a stain? It's a little bit of a thinner formula than the other one, I feel. Like, it's not the same formula. I think that this is a pH reacting lip stain. It's definitely for me on the purpley pinky side. It feels nice, it looks nice. But yeah, not as subtle as I was expecting. Like, this looks pretty sheer. Let's see. It doesn't say anywhere that it is pH reacting. Maybe on the Revolution side. This is really pink. Also, the Revolution side doesn't seem to say this is a stain. I'm just gonna wipe this off and see what is underneath. That is staining my lips, right? Why are they not marketing this as a stain? It's a nice stain. I actually feel like this is staining really evenly. And it's also feeling nice. It's not looking dry. Like, that is a pretty nice stain, but it's definitely a stain. Okay, very interesting development. I added a little bit of a lip liner and then I applied the golden shade of gloss on top of that stain. I feel like they could have communicated this a little bit better. Like, what's going on? Please tell me. I do think for a stain or kind of like a pH reacting lip product, that lip product was looking really nice, was feeling really hydrating, was looking good. I did like the shade, so I'm definitely gonna play around with that a little more. It can sometimes seem a little negative about like pH reacting lip products because like I've seen so many, but some of them do really get me excited. Like, some of them I do really like, and this I think is gonna be one of the ones that I am gonna enjoy quite a bit because it feels really nice, it looks nice, and it's a really nice scent. I feel like this is like the find of this collection. And also, what is going on with this highlighter? I'm gonna be seen by Buzz Lightyear from outer space. He's gonna look down and he's gonna appreciate my glow. And then the eyeshadow palette. I actually don't know what I was expecting from this. I mean, I hadn't tried one of these types of Revolution collabs before. I think it is pretty cute. I think the eye look came out pretty nicely. I feel like I could get quite a dramatic look with quite a nice blend. Do I think this is gonna be my new favorite Makeup Revolution palette? Probably not. I'm definitely gonna try this out more, do some more looks, get back to you with my like final thoughts. This is just a first impression look. But so far, I think this is a pretty cute palette. I do think that realistically, this is not gonna beat the Forever Flawless palette that I recently tried. I mean, the Cherry Rebel palette. I will just grab it. This one has a pretty similar vibe, but it's a little bit more cool toned. We also have the reds, but they lean a little bit more cool toned. We also have the neutrals, also lean a bit more cool toned. We have some more options. I like the packaging better. I think this one is gonna win by far from this palette, but I'm happy I tried it. I did have fun in this video. I did have fun creating this look, and I'm pretty happy to see how it came out, and I'm pretty happy to see that it's not like a world of a difference in the quality, which I was kind of scared about. I don't know. So far, I'm liking it. So far, I'm liking this collection. Okay, that's gonna be it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye bye!